For us, what decent work is opportunities to make a living, to do work that will not just pay for our bills, but will keep us engaged, so that ultimately we feel like we are contributing to, whether it's making our country better, making our communities better. But also something that is very, very important is we want work that will enable us to help our families, our immediate families.
From what I've noticed amongst the youths in Zambia, when you hear something decent, people only think of those works that are going to get you a higher income, and that you should always be in an office, these white collar jobs, and be smart. Yeah, so there's a bit of misperception between the word and the application of it. So most youths would find that they are running their own business, earning a fair income, they've got the security, they are able to even progress in what they are doing. But then because they're not wearing smart, they're not thinking to say, okay, I don't wear a suit and I'm always just trying to hustle. They think it's not decent. Yeah, so there's that misperception.
There's need to work in an environment where you feel safe, where you can fully express yourself, and where you're appreciated.
To be in employment for a long period of time and to be supported in terms of career growth. So for me, that's decent work.
For as long as I'm able to keep a minimum standard of living, then I obviously have decent work.
A decent job is a job that gives me the space to learn, to grow as a person, as an individual, give me a platform also to air out, to fairly contribute, yet at the same time give me, well, a decent pay.
So I think ultimately what it comes down to is it's case by case. For each individual, it's important that they connect with opportunities that bring out growth, that allow them to innovate, that allow them to contribute meaningfully. If it's in the informal sector, then they'll be satisfied. It could be in the formal sector also, and they can be satisfied.
So I believe both in the formal and informal sector, there is decent job, and especially in the informal sector, because I believe people work in the informal sector are able to make a lot of money within a week, and I have to wait to make that money within a month. So we need to stop the dependency syndrome of getting paid 12 times in a year. We need to stop that. We need to invest in Africa's educational curriculum. We need new educational reforms for us to ensure that young people believe that there are decent jobs in the informal sector. So that's what I believe in. It all goes back to mindset.
So I was saying, for me, it doesn't matter whether you're in a formal sector or informal sector. But whatever work you're doing, for it to be classified as decent, it should have the following, despite it being formal or informal.
I believe in equality, gender equality. So a woman can hold any position, have a decent job, have responsibilities.
So from the work that I do with Seeds of Change Foundation here in Zambia, we we encourage young women and girls to take up interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics careers. And from our research, we found out that most women in the STEM sector are underpaid. And one of the reasons why they're underpaid is because that people believe that when you hire a female, like it's cheaper than hiring a man because men have a lot of responsibilities. But the fact is that men and women have all responsibilities, especially in this 21st century. Gone are the days when women would wait around for men to provide for them.
So I think there is a lag still in the perceptions about women and their incomes, but as time goes by, that perception is changing, and that's why you see more and more women looking to get jobs with a higher pay and higher incomes and so on and so forth. What I would consider as a barrier is stereotyping, right? stereotyping in the sense that, for example, one of the ones that I do know is that an organization is more likely to hire, or rather, more likely not to hire you if you are maybe like pregnant or expecting.
The other stereotype is being married. So when you're married, and for example, there are some jobs in the NGO sector that allows you to like travel a lot, and they ask you a question: Are you married? If you say yes, you find that you don't get the job because they want somebody who is single, so that they are available 75% of their time at the office. Yeah, and sexual harassment is another one.
In the public sector, you find that the government has put deliberate policies under the aspect of women empowerment, where whenever they're doing any recruitment for any field, they give preference to women as opposed to men, just to bridge the gap. So that policy has been put in place and it has been seen to be working. The government is doing a lot to promote the involvement of women. Although to some extent, I would say it's slowly starting to affect the men in the country, in that instead of it being women empowerment or gender balance, it's actually now turning into what we call segregative discrimination. It's positive discrimination against the men. Because most opportunities you find you're even more qualified, but they'll favor a woman because it seems good on the company's image. If there's a pregnant woman, she gets the job.
COVID has affected the decent work landscape in the Zambian scenario to a larger extent, because most are now opting to just accept whatever conditions are to whatever that employment come on with, because they just want to earn a living. It's no longer decent work as it was. I don't even know what term I can now give it, but the essence of having decent work where you're socially protected and the like, it's no longer the norm. You now have to survive, and what do you do to survive? You just have to get what is on the table.